Ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're working on this little Ryobi ES30. Now it's an electric start, but we're not going to bother with that. We're just going to worry about getting her running without the battery. Now, I got this as part of a deal a couple of months ago, and it's been hanging on the rack forever. So let's see if we can get her running. Now I started out doing the obvious. I went ahead and put some gas in it and tried to get her to run, and didn't get anything out of it. So we're going to go ahead and do the normal stuff. We'll go ahead and pull the carb off, rebuild her real quick, get some better fuel in it, maybe some new fuel lines, and see if she works. I bet these are 10s. Nope, they're not. That's surprising. Oh, I got 3/8. Huh. Now it's possible that these nuts were put on aftermarket. You know, somebody came along and tried to get it running and put those nuts on it. It's always fun to get something where somebody else tried to get it running first. Those are by far the most entertainment for me. Now looking at these fuel lines, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got dark spots and light spots. So we're going to call those done. Those fuel lines are an easy replacement. Okay, let's tear this down and get her in the ultrasonic. Where'd you go? There you are. Now, when you take one of these apart, make sure you see what we're doing is the first two screws we took out, we left over here. Now the next four we're going to keep over here. That way they won't get mixed up later. Because there might be a small difference in the length, and you don't want that to come back and bite you later. Okay, what do we got? Yeah, metering diaphragm. Feels pretty stiff, so we'll go ahead and put a new one on. This is a super common diaphragm. And we might have one of these in stock, or we might have to order one. We'll find out later. If you look at the internals, you can see it's pretty gummed up. But we'll be back shortly after we get this cleaned up. Okay, I dug through the box and found all the pieces I need to rebuild the carburetor. And I'll leave a note of the part number of the carburetor in the description so you can look it up if you decide to do yours. So, fuel lines. Let's get this done with. There we go. And while these might look a little gruesome, a lot of it is just because they used a green mixed with oil. Okay, let's get this done. Now this little tool you can get if you order a carburetor, or you might be able to order it separately. It's a fuel line pulling tool. I know I get mine whenever I order fuel lines. I'll order 5 different sizes, and that comes with it. But I also get them every now and again when I order a new carburetor. So if you're doing this yourself, a lot of times it's easier to just replace the carburetor and be done with it than it is to go through the effort of rebuilding it. So we get our fuel filter on. I don't know if you can hear it, but the ultrasonic is buzzing away in the background. With the new microphone I just picked up, I don't have to think about it anymore. I can work while the ultrasonic's going. There we go. Now it's laying on the bottom of the tank nicely. So we're going to guesstimate and go right about there. Now we're going to prep up for the second one. And if your fuel line doesn't fit nice and snug in here, stop and start over again. Get a different fuel line. Because if these aren't really snug, you're going to have leaks all over the place. Okay, and this is going to be the return line. The return line only has to make it inside the tank. You don't want to leave a whole lot of extra tail because you don't want the return line necessarily to be under the fuel. And right about that should do nicely. And there we have it. Now we just have to wait for our carburetor to finish cooking. It says 8 more minutes. And when that's done, we'll get her together and get her running. It's pretty wet out today. You can see it's trying to rain. It's got the little sprinkle. In Texas, we go forever and ever with no rain at all. And then it rains. So now what we're going to do, hit the choke, prime her up. Okay, she runs with the choke, but not without. So what we're going to do is go on the low screw and back her out about a quarter turn. Ah, we got lucky that time, first shot. Sounds pretty good idling. I'm going in and out, now I'm going in just a touch. Now we'll back the idle out just a bit. No, I don't quite feel that. We'll give it a little bit more gas. So backing it out just a touch. Okay, she's got a little bit of a drop when you accelerate. I think she's running risk. Okay, now if you listen, you hear that popping noise. I don't know if the microphone will let you hear it. But you can hear that little stutter at top end. That tells me she's running really brisk. That sounds a whole lot better now. Now you see there's not much fuel in the bowl, or in the first bowl. Don't worry about that. Some of these just have an air pocket, and this is how they are. It's all good. So, now for the big question. Will she start again? Oh, forgot to turn it on. That sounds pretty good. That came out pretty good. Now the carburetor on this is a C1U body with an H62A. So they'd call it an H62A Zama carburetor. If you want to replace it, it's going to be kind of hard to find that one. But take the carburetor off, put it on your desk in front of you, and compare the negative pressure port, which is that little hole in the back of the engine, and that goes through the hole in the carburetor. And you'll see a hole in the gasket, of course. But go ahead and find one that everything matches up. Make sure the fuel lines are on the right side, and it's got the correct linkage arm. There's 100 of them out there, and every one of them will work. As long as that pressure port lines up, you know, the little hole in the back of the engine, you're good to go. And it'll save you 30 bucks in this case. Okay, all you new people out there, go ahead and subscribe. It's free, and it really is what we work for. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.